Hello everyone, it's Fung here again. Today we'll be talking about zero coupon bonds. And again, this information is sourced from the book The Truth About Money by Rick Edelman. So getting started, what are they, right? What are zero coupon bonds? Well, they are bonds that do not pay periodic interest, and in fact, you're actually paid the face value at maturity. So instead of getting paid interest like monthly or so, you would get paid all of that interest that you were supposed to get paid basically at the end till maturity. These are also known as zeros, so I'm going to start using that instead of calling them zero coupon bonds. And for bonds, the price is the amount that you pay when you buy the bond, and the face value is the value of it at maturity. A very common example of these zeros are EE bonds, which are US savings bonds. And an example of how these work is you buy a $100 bond for $60, and then at the end of maturity, then you're going to earn that $40, right, as a lump sum. So that's essentially how they work. Instead of getting paid periodically, it's all at the end. So there's a couple catches to this. So the catch number one is that there's the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, the GATT. And this essentially means that there's no minimum interest rate, right? So there's no minimum. You could be earning 0% interest. There are exceptions to this GATT rule, right? And it's that if you bought the bond before 1995, then you're protected because it was in effect by 1995, and if you held the bond for at least 5 years. So that means in your first 5 years, it's very possible to earn no interest at all because there's no minimum, right? The catch number two is that the returns are similar to treasuries, so the returns are on the lower side. And if you remember our lesson about those treasuries and their rates, you know that they do not catch up to tax and inflation. Tax and inflation are going to eat your money faster than the treasuries, and these zeros are going to grow your money. Catch number three is that it has higher volatility than other bonds, and this is because you don't get your interest paid periodically. So if a company goes broke, your bond is worthless, and you weren't even paid the interest in the meantime, right before the company went broke. At least with a regular ordinary bond, you would have got paid some of your money before your bond became worthless. But in these zeros, you're only paid till the very end. If your company doesn't even last till the very end, you're screwed. There goes all your money. So yeah, there's just an example in the bottom saying, zero with a yield to maturity at 10%. And if the company goes broke after 5 years, you lost out on that 50% worth of return. That's a good amount of money. The fourth catch is that there's something called phantom income, essentially where you have to pay taxes on income you haven't received. So if we go back to that example, how you're getting paid, let's see right here, that 10%, you would have to pay taxes on that 10% that you're making, right? But you didn't even receive the money yet. So you're paying taxes on income that you haven't received. That's phantom income. And yeah, it's just overall really bad, essentially. Now, the fifth catch is that zeros are callable. Callable, if you remember our municipal bond lesson, is that essentially the issuer can kind of cancel or redeem the bond so that they just give you your money back and your investment is not lost, but canceled, essentially. So you don't get your periodic interest and it's callable, right? Yet remember, for these zeros, you get to wait till the very end. So now, if there's a risk of the company, going broke, or a risk of the issuer just redeeming it, right, calling it, you don't get paid anything, right? There goes your money. So it's just, oh my God, just too much risk here. So recapping everything that we learned, is that zeros are just bonds that don't pay you the periodic interest. Instead, you're paid all of it at the end till maturity. There's zero minimum interest for the first 5 years that you hold it, which is really bad because that means there's no floor, right? If you had a 1% minimum interest, then that's okay, I guess, but you have zero, so meaning it's possible to make no money for your first 5 years of holding it. Also, the rates are too low for tax and inflation, right? It doesn't grow faster than tax and inflation eat your money. It has high volatility because of the risk of not getting any money because you have to wait till the very end of it. You have to pay taxes on it because it's phantom income, and they are callable, or they can get canceled essentially if the issuer redeems it, leaving you with no interest earned. There's just so many negatives that I don't recommend it, and Edelman does not recommend it as well. So yes, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, do what you will. You guys are not obligated to do so, but if you want to follow my financial literacy journey, then go ahead. See you later.